While I was riding the light rail to work the other day, I saw a video from a creator talking about buying nothing, where for 3 full years they didn't buy anything beyond their essential needs. So, no dining out with friends except for once a month, no getting coffee every day, no buying clothes or going shopping except for what they needed for work. This isn't a new concept, right? There are social media groups based around this idea. There's apps out there that are based on recycling or upcycling what otherwise might go to the landfill or go to waste. This got me thinking about gaming, not just specifically what we let go to waste, but more importantly, how much money we might actually be spending on it. After all, in that instance, when I was riding the light rail, it was to work to save money. It costs about $20 per diem to park near my work, or $400 a quarter if you buy an employee parking pass. Or I could get up 15 minutes earlier and drive a mile or two to the light rail station, park my car, and not spend another cent. Now, I know it's scary to think that maybe you're spending a lot of money on a hobby that you like gaming. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. There are hobbies that are expensive, right? They require time, attention, resources. And again, that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with focusing on the things that enhance your happiness. I'm not saying gaming is a waste of time or money. I'm not someone who subscribes to that hustle culture where you have to be producing something or making something, otherwise it's all a waste. If anything, I think you should enjoy and relish in the things, even if they cost money, that bring you joy. What I am saying is, we might be spending money on games that we don't need yet, or maybe we've never gotten to play. Maybe we could do something about that. Now, I've been into gaming since I was a kid, and when the pandemic struck, I started really getting into collecting a lot more than I had been. So it was during this time that I set out to collect every Zelda mainline game in box, and I did it. I have all, 19 or 20. They're actually on the shelf right back here behind me. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I also collected a bunch of 2D and 3DSs and Game Boy Colors. Did I spend more than I should have? Probably. But collecting is one of those things that is an expensive hobby, like we mentioned earlier. So no, there's nothing wrong with it, but it can add up. And oftentimes when the goal is collecting, the games on the shelf go unplayed. So when I got home from work that night, my wife and I came up with a plan, which was starting January 1st, 2024, for an entire year, I won't spend any money on games. Tall order? Yeah, you're telling me. But we put some rules in place to give ourselves both some guidance and some wiggle room. So, rule number 1, no spending money on new or used games. If I don't already own it, I won't exchange money for it. Rule number 2, no new hardware either. If a new Switch comes out, well, tough luck. Rule number 3, I can trade in games to local retro shops or GameStop or wherever, and as long as the trade value covers whatever I'm trying to get, that's okay. Rule number 4, I can trade with or borrow from friends and family. Rule number 5, I'll keep my subscriptions until they expire. So my Game Pass, I believe, expires in February, my NSO runs through November, and my PlayStation Plus, I think, runs out in June, give or take. Rule number 6, it doesn't matter if something's cheaper than usual or on sale. How many of us have spent a lot of money on Steam or Sony's Days of Play, and there's probably hundreds of games in our libraries that we really haven't touched. Rule number 7, I will pay for hardware repair to a reasonable extent. If I'm walking and I fall face first and shatter the screen on my Asus ROG Ally that my wife just got me, then yes, I'm gonna pay the deductible to Best Buy to have them repair it. Or if the cats knock over my PlayStation 5 and it suddenly stops reading discs, yes, I will pay to have Sony repair it. But for example, we have a lot of controllers, so let's just say I spilled water on a controller or the cats chewed it up or whatever. I'm not gonna go buy another one, I'm just gonna grab a new one off the shelf. Rule number 8, if a gift is given to me, that's okay, I'll gladly accept it. Or if some corporate sponsor wants to start sending me games, I am not beyond a handout. So what do I hope to get out of this? Why am I even doing this? Well, like I said, we all have hobbies and habits that bring us joy, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you're really into cooking, and so you spend money on ingredients and kitchenware and new utensils, and that's fine. Maybe you're into fitness and you spend money on supplements and your gym membership. That's great. Maybe you're into gaming like the rest of us, and you spend a lot of your disposable income on games. That's totally fine. It's a fun pastime and something we all enjoy. But when the games don't get played, then maybe it's spending unnecessarily. At least it is in my case. And I don't mean when you just have a small backlog. You can see right here, there's a small number of Switch games. That's totally fine. Everyone has a handful of titles that they just haven't gotten to yet. We're all busy and nobody expects you to 100% every single game that's sitting on your shelf within a certain time window. A YouTuber by the name of Daryl Talks Games recently did a similar project where he dedicated the entire past year to finishing his backlog and talked about how it took a lot of the joy out of his experience. So I'm not saying that you have a duty or a responsibility to finish your backlog. All I'm saying is that when there's more games you own that you haven't played versus the ones that you have played, maybe it's time to stop buying new games, at least for a while. Besides, with the backlog as big as some of us have, I'm sure that there are bound to be hidden gems that I've actually never even broken the seal on. I'm sure that if the itch arises to try something new, then I can find something in the many titles that I have that I've never even touched yet. Or maybe my friends have it, and this serves as a way to better communicate with them. Since the pandemic and as a millennial, honestly, I'm not the best about connecting with people face to face. What better reason to spend time and maybe even share that experience with them? Bring me a game, stay for coffee, or stay for dinner, right? That prospect might be a little scary, but it's probably healthier than adding things to my shelf that I'm never going to play. We've got a baby girl on the way in the spring, and what better time than now to start saving a little more money and enjoying the things I already have in front of me and maybe not buying things that I don't need, at least not yet. I know it's a privilege to have the gaming hardware and software that I already own. I know that not everyone can afford to get any game that they want, and really, with a baby on the way, now is a great time to sort of rein in my spending. And I think I'm going to enjoy this experience, not just because we have a child on the way, but really it might give me pause and make me ask myself why it is that I need to buy things that I don't really need right now. That's all for now. Check back soon to see how I make my way through my backlog. I have started playing The Messenger, which I'm loving right now, so I'll have a video out soon about that. Hopefully the new year goes well for you, and may 2024 bring you everything you want, health and happiness. Take care.